Welcome to the Paper Crafters Library. In this video, I want to introduce you to red liner tape, a super sticky, super strong double-sided adhesive. It's sold under several different names including red liner tape, wonder tape, terrifically tacky tape, and sticky strip. Characteristic of all of them is this red color. Now it's sold in two forms, on a roll and in sheets. On the roll, you'll find it in varying widths, including 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch, which you see here, and this is the one that I most commonly use, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch widths like this one you see here. And the rolls come in varying lengths, 5 yards, 10 yards, even in bulk sizes like this 36-yard roll we carry in the Sunny Stampin' store. Now here you can see in the sheet form, this is a 12 by 12 sheet, but I've also seen it sold in 6 by 8 and 8 by 10 size sheets. This is also a heat-resistant tape, and it's not going to lift or curl once it's been applied. I love the fact that you can apply it to a variety of different surfaces and materials. So you can use it on paper, glass and metals, you can use it to stick glitter, flocking, small beads, buttons, metal embellishments, and more. It's characterized by the fact that it has this plastic red backing, and this is what gives it this red color that you see here. Now the red backing itself is just a protective covering for the tape. You remove it after the tape is applied, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Now when you see the tape itself, it is clear, but it sometimes has a slight yellowish cast to it. Now in general, if I'm just layering papers one on top of the other, such as when I'm making cards or scrapbook pages, I don't use the red liner tape because really it's overkill. Regular strength double-sided adhesive works just fine for that. Where I do use it when I'm doing paper on paper work is when I'm creating boxes or other three-dimensional items. Because essentially anytime you're trying to keep paper in a shape that's not natural to it, so not flat, it's going to apply strain on the paper and you need something strong to keep it together, and that's where red liner tape comes in. Regular double-sided adhesive is not going to hold boxes together very well and you'll find them falling apart. Now, in addition to paper on paper, I also use it when I'm applying two different surfaces together. So here you can see this example in this decorated DVD tin. I have applied my paper to the surface of my DVD tin using the red liner tape. A regular double-sided adhesive wouldn't grip. Here's another example. This is an altered frame, and I've built my layout on top of the glass of the frame, so the paper is actually stuck to the glass using the red liner tape. Again, most regular double-sided adhesives wouldn't work for that. When I created this canvas here, you can see I have some metal elements on it. Well, this key here was held using the red liner tape, and you can see it's sticking two different surfaces, metal to this embossed surface. And it also holds items that have weight. So this button, you can see it's stuck down, and even things that have the thickness like these art parts, which are like a very heavyweight chipboard almost, or like some kind of a pressed board together. And it works with fabrics as well. Here you can see an example of a frame, and I've lined my frame with ribbon, and I used my red liner tape to hold my ribbon to the painted wood surface of my frame. So as you can see, it can be applied to a huge variety of surfaces that you could not apply regular double-sided adhesive to. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how you actually use the red liner tape. So when working with my red liner tape, I always like to keep it on the roll. Sometimes I've seen people cut a length and then apply it to their project. There's more wastage that way, so it's a lot easier just to keep your red liner tape on the roll and use it like that. So the first thing you need to do is to find the end. And when you're looking for the end, it's very important to be aware that the red liner is stuck to the tape itself. And as you're peeling it up, it's only on one side. So you want to make sure that you grip both the red liner and the tape. If you just peel the red liner back, and you're going to expose the tape and it'll be on the outside. So make sure you grasp the two together, and you'll know because one, you'll feel the smoothness of the red liner tape underneath, and then the one side of the tape will be tacky. So once you've found the end, you're going to apply it to your surface. So here I'm applying it right to the edge of my cardstock. And then I like to keep my tape elevated from my paper and keep a little bit of tension, because I find that helps me achieve a much straighter line than if I'm going and pressing down all along. Then once I reach the end of where I want to apply it, I just press it down, And then I'll take my finger and I'll run it all along the length of it just to make sure that it's firmly stuck to the paper and it's nice and smooth. I then just lift up my roll, take my scissors, and snip the end of it. So you can see here how I have applied my red liner tape, and you can see how nice and smooth and straight it is. Now the backing can sometimes be tricky to remove because it's so thin. So generally I like to work with the edge of my scissors, and I just very gently slide it underneath the red liner tape or the red liner backing, and then I just pull it like this. Now once the backing is off, if you're assembling a box, you can then go ahead and stick the box seams together. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can use red liner tape with a variety of decorative elements, so you can get some really nice decorative effects. For example, I'm going to show you here what it looks like when you apply glitter to it. So I'm just working over a coffee filter, and I have some fine red glitter, and I'm just sprinkling my glitter on my paper over the red liner tape, and you can see there how beautifully it sticks. And then of course you just want to flick off the excess. And then you can always use a little brush just to get rid of any fine flecks of glitter. But there you can see what a gorgeous glitter border this has created. And here you can see an example of how this was applied to a project. In the snow day card, there is these blue glitter borders that we've applied along the stripes of the pattern paper, so it blends right into the background pattern, but you get this beautiful decorative element. Now working with the sheets of this red liner tape opens up a whole new dimension of decorative possibilities, because you can cut pieces from your sheet and then you can die cut them with your die cut machine. Here you can see an example of a leaf shape. And I found that this works very well with the big thick Sizzix dies, and it also works with the lower profile dies like the Spellbinders Nestability style dies. It does not, however, work very well with punches. It tends to get jammed in the punch, you don't get a nice clean cut. Now when you look at the die cut shape, you can see here that it has two sides to the tape. The adhesive itself is sandwiched between the red liner backing and then another white backing. You'll remember when you look at the roll, when you peel it off the roll, the tape itself is stuck to the backing, but then the other side is exposed because on the roll it's basically sticking to the red liner backing underneath. With this one, you have backing on both sides. So I find that the tape seems to stick best to the actual red liner backing, so when I've got a die cut shape which I want to apply to a project, it's easier to peel off the white backing. I like to expose a little bit of it and then stick that down to my project, whatever surface I'm using. Same process as with the other one. I run my finger over it to make sure it's well stuck down. Then you remove the red liner backing, and then as you can see here, you have your adhesive in your shape stuck to your project. So I'm just going to show you quickly with the micro beads. I'm working over my powder pal or tidy tray. And you take your micro beads and you sprinkle them onto the tape and then press it down. And then just knock off the excess into your tray. And here you can see I have this bead covered shape. Now if I didn't want some of the white to show through, because the beads don't have as small particles as the glitter does, so some of the backing shows through, then I would probably do it on a colored cardstock to coordinate with the color of the micro beads that I'm using. Now just to show you a couple of project examples of die cut shapes out of this backing or out of the red liner tape, here you can see I've created this acetate card. The shapes have been die cut out of the adhesive, applied to the front of my acetate sheet, and then I've covered different colors of glitter on it. Now here's another example of how you can use the sheets if you don't die cut it into shapes, but you use the whole sheet itself, is this example of this altered frame. Now I covered my frame with my pattern paper, and then I applied a whole sheet of red liner tape to it and then put clear microbeads on top. And I'm not sure how well the camera picks it up. You can kind of see the shine against it. The entire surface of this is microbeads. You can sort of see it from the side like that. And it gives this really, really neat look to the paper below. It's almost like you're looking through frosted glass. And of course, as I showed you earlier, I've also used my red liner tape for my ribbon. So there you have it, red liner tape, something that I personally consider to be an essential paper crafting supply. Now we're going to be giving away 2 of these 36-yard rolls of a 1/4 inch wide red liner tape for our Freebie Friday event on the Paper Crafters Library blog. If you're watching this video from somewhere other than our blog, all you have to do to enter is click on the link you'll find in the video description section and leave us a comment in the comment section of the post you see here. Winners will be announced on Friday, February 17th. See you on the blog.